Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes us better. Today, guys, we are continuing our topic of FatBurn Fix based on the book FatBurn Fix, written by Dr. Kate Shanahan. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Anyhow, yesterday we talked about how we swap our fats, how we eliminate all the fats that are toxic to our energy metabolism and also to our sugar metabolism that is also a body source of energy to our insulin metabolism. So we talked about how to get rid of toxic oils that that liquid, yellow liquid in clear plastic, or sometimes not plastic bottles, these industrial fats that also hide in all sorts of foods, sometimes in roasted nuts, of course in a lot of packaged snack foods, and then sometimes it's in canned seafood, in a lot of mayos, or dressings, salad dressings, in restaurants, takeouts, they hide in so many places, and they have no right, they compromise our health, our energy metabolism, our energy reserves, our emotional well-being, and there is no need for them. They're cheap, they're industrial, but we have more than enough other fats. We have extra virgin olive oil that is super amazing and gives us a lot of energy without causing any harm. Actually, research showed that olive oil, because of fatty acids, oleic acid and palmitic acid that are in olive oil, that is what is basically fat in olive oil is. So because of the nature of those fatty acids, they are the most energy giving fats. So I'm talking about olive oils, extra virgin olive oils. There is also coconut oil. There are all kinds of animal fats like butter, ghee, lard, tallow, duck fat. There is avocado oil. There is macadamia oil. There is coconut oil. I think I already said coconut oil. But anyhow, there are all these amazing fats that are not toxic and good for us and delicious. And so use them instead of all this toxic crap that is everywhere. Your health, your energy levels, your emotional well-being, your performance on a daily basis, and your longevity, how long you live, how well you live, how healthy you are later in your life. All that is worth swapping those fats. So re-listen to our episode yesterday about the details of those fats. Today we are talking about the next step of fixing our metabolism. If you're having cravings all the time, if you feel like you need to snack every 2-3 hours, in our culture it kind of made the norm, but it's not normal. There is nothing normal about it. Human metabolism, a healthy human metabolism, was never meant to be snacking metabolism. Otherwise we would die off as species long time ago, because before our food system developed to the state where food is available everywhere 24/7, we had to go through periods of hunger all the time, all the freaking time. Even your parents and grandparents, they never had this snacking culture, because it was not possible in most places for most people. So how to stop this snacking habit, how to stop craving this food all the time, especially processed foods rich in sugars and processed carbohydrates in all its different forms. Sometimes it's honey, sometimes it's coconut sugar, sometimes it's some other crap. It's still sugar, guys. So don't let the fancy labels fool you. How to get rid of those cravings and have stable energy balance, not crushing, going from super hyper caffeinated and sugar full state to really low emotionally and energetically, how to stop having those ups and downs and crashes and cravings for everything and anything, and then your emotional state also fluctuates all the time. Like, how to get rid of all of that, and plus stay leaner and stop putting all the fat on, how to stay lean and healthy and fit and full of energy and emotionally balanced. Like, that all can be fixed when we fix our energy metabolism. And so these 3 episodes, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, is about the actual solution that works for all the people. There are details, of course. We have all those unique life situations and health situations, but this solution, it works. So step number 1, and these steps, they all kind of have to be taken together. Actually, I'm just saying step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, but you need to take them all together in order to avoid a lot of suffering and discomfort that's still going to be there, but it's going to be much, much less of it. So step number 2, finally, we're getting to that, guys. Stay patient with me. Step number 2 is getting rid of mostly processed sugars, carbohydrates, added sugars and carbohydrates of all sorts, and also of excessive sweet taste in everything you eat. That means no added sugars, be that coconut sugar, brown sugar, honey, molasses, evaporated cane juice, and all these other chemical names that, of course, I don't know all of them and I don't know how to pronounce them or remember. Maltodextrin or like there are so many weird names. So if there is an ingredient in a product that you are buying, you are eating, get rid of that product, or maybe read about that ingredient that might be a benign ingredient, but in most cases it's not. It's some sort of like sugar or fat, toxic to your metabolism. Anyhow, guys, so we need to get rid of all the added sugars, of sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, of dried fruit, of honey, on manuka honey, whatever that honey is, or fruit juices, or juices in general. Like, eat your food, don't juice stuff. For now that you need to fix your metabolism, you need to get rid of all of that. So processed foods, of course, waffles, cookies, cereals, bread, flour, all of that, to fix your metabolism, it gotta go. Like, if you have a healthy metabolism, there is a place of good quality, let's say sprouted bread or sourdough bread, a piece here, a piece there, but not until you fix your metabolism, not until that. Until then, you gotta get rid of all of that. For a period of time. So all the packaged stuff, anything made from flours, anything with any sweet added to it. You also gotta limit your fruit, guys, especially super sweet fruit, especially dried fruit. Super sweet fruit and fruit with a lot of sugar, like grapes or mangoes or papayas, or a lot of pineapples, super ripe bananas. Like, those fruits, you gotta really limit or eliminate, and go for maybe a couple of cups of berries, fresh or frozen, a day. You can't, substitute one. There is a difference between added sugars and fruit sugar. There is a difference for sure. But for the period of time when you're fixing your metabolism, you need to eliminate that as much as possible, because your sugar metabolism is already compromised. Your body doesn't know how to manage it. So you need to eliminate those sources of quick, fast carbohydrates. And that goes for processed foods, anything packaged, anything made into flour, powder, any sweetener, dried fruits, it's all gotta go. But of course the focus is on all sorts of processed foods, pasta, pizza, bread, all that gotta go. No matter how whole grain the flour is, all that gotta go. And instead, for now that your metabolism is not yet healthy and you haven't yet switched to burning your fats, your own fats or fats in your food efficiently and effectively, and you still are having a lot of cravings for sweets, for carbohydrates, for processed foods, for now, I suggest to all you guys to do include some carbohydrates, but specific carbohydrates coming from two things really: starchy vegetables and beans. Why? Because those foods are high in starch and resistant starch, and the carbohydrates in those foods are slow digesting, meaning they don't spike your blood sugar that much. Plus, they come with a lot of fiber and a lot of vitamins and minerals, nutrients that you probably are deprived of. So when it comes to your metabolism, they're much more beneficial than anything made into flour, than anything that is grain based. And so starchy vegetables or beans. And for each of your meals, you need to have somewhere around full handful or a cup of cooked vegetable or cooked beans. So per meal, for example, you would probably have a medium sweet potato. And let's just name those starchy vegetables, guys, so you understand what I'm talking about. Starchy vegetables that you need to limit per meal but still have in order to help your body to manage your energy and your blood sugar while you are transitioning. Like when you are someone like me who's already really efficient at burning fat, you don't need many carbs or starch at all. Like I don't eat starchy vegetables. The only carbohydrates I eat usually come from non-starchy vegetables, and I'm totally fine. Sometimes I eat just 10 grams of carbohydrates per day, and I don't feel it because my body knows how to burn fat to maintain energy and sugar. But if your metabolism is already compromised, that's not your story. You need to bring some carbohydrates. But in order to fix your metabolism, you need to bring the smart carbohydrates with a lot of resistant starch, fiber, and nutrients. And those are starchy vegetables, and those are beets, cooked carrots, corn, cooked green peas, parsnips, plantains, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and regular potatoes, taro, winter squash, or you might also call it acorn or butternut squash, yams. So again, the list of starchy vegetables that you want to be including in your meals to help your body to support stable energy balance without having too many cravings for carbohydrates and foods rich in processed flours or sweeteners. So vegetables, you want to have like a full handful or a cup of cooked beets or carrots or corn or green peas or parsnips, plantain, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, taro root, white potatoes, winter squash, yams. So again, about a cup of cooked vegetables per meal. And if you have really strong cravings for carbohydrates, so these vegetables are the ones that you want to eat instead. And another neat trick is to cook those vegetables and put them in the fridge to get cold. A lot of those vegetables will develop resistant starch that is not digested by your stomach, by your digestive system, but instead feeds beneficial gut bacteria that in turn create short fatty acids, or those beneficial fatty acids that are really effective at delivering energy. And plus, they are proven to be anti-inflammatory. So it's like a double win. If you cook those vegetables and you put them in the fridge and you eat them cold. If you reheat them, you will destroy some of that beneficial starch, resistant starch that resists your digestion. So again, the list of those vegetables: beets, carrots, corn, green peas, parsnips, plantains, pumpkins, sweet and regular potatoes, taro root, winter squash, yams. Or another one is beans. So all sorts of beans: kidney beans, black-eyed peas, adzuki beans, like there are so many different kinds of beans, guys. So beans also are similar in that regard to those root vegetables, but they do contain more amino acids or more plant protein. So beans is like your protein guy from plant kingdom. But make sure that you know how to cook those beans, because in order to destroy some anti-nutrients that might actually be not as beneficial for your digestion, you might get gassy, all sorts of digestive problems, or also you might prevent your body from absorbing some nutrients. So in order to minimize all of these negative effects of beans, you want to soak them overnight. So put them in water, soak them. That's what it means, soak them. So put them in water overnight, remove that water, and then cook them when you're ready to eat them, or put them in the fridge, when you're ready to cook. Remove that water, put new water, and cook for about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of the beans, sometimes in 90 minutes if it's the biggest beans. Or you can also pressure cook them. That's the best way to destroy all the anti-nutrients, but you still need to soak them overnight, guys. So soak overnight your beans and then cook them for quite a long time, or pressure cook them. That's the best way. And again, you want to have like a cup of cooked beans per meal to help your body to balance your blood sugar and your energy levels and your cravings also as a result of that. So starchy vegetables and beans. And again, starchy vegetables are beets, carrots, corn, green peas, parsnips, plantain, pumpkin, sweet potato, taro root, regular potato, winter squash, and yams. So, and when it comes to fruit, as I said, you want to limit it or eliminate it for the time being. Do this whole program for a month, guys, and then reevaluate how you feel, how much you can go without snacking. And by the way, snacking, tomorrow we're going to talk about how to still snack if you're not able, to go for a long time without having food, but upgrade your snacks in order to support your new metabolism, your healthy metabolism. So tomorrow we are talking about snacks that eventually you want to eliminate, but you can't just jump from, 0 to hero. Usually you need the time to transition if you don't want to really suffer. Sometimes it's even dangerous for health if your blood sugar metabolism is really compromised or you have issues with your insulin. So anyhow, guys, snacking is tomorrow. Today you want to remember to eliminate all the processed crap, especially pay attention to all the added sugars, sweeteners, dried fruits, honey, and ingredients that you don't understand in foods that taste sweet, also artificial sweeteners, all that gotta go. You gotta also, for now, eliminate all the grains, all the grain flours, all of that gotta go, all the breads, all the pasta, all the pizzas, unless it's made from cauliflower. So you want to eliminate all of that. And you want to, in each of your meals, include some starchy foods, either starchy vegetables or beans. Why you want to do that? Because your metabolism is compromised and your blood sugar can fluctuate a lot, and your body is not as effective and efficient at burning fats for fuel, for energy. So you want to support your metabolism while transitioning. So a cup of cooked starchy vegetables or beans. Don't forget how to cook your beans, soaking them and then cooking. So that's your kind of like step number 2 that you want to work on. What you might also do, if you know that you can't really do it all together, take 1 week, take a couple of weeks, maybe 10 days. And for example, for this week, 10 days, you work on swapping the fats, making sure that all the fats that you eat, they're the right kind of fats. Then the next 10 days, 2 weeks, a week, you work on eliminating all the added sweeteners, processed foods, limiting your fruit consumption to no more than a couple of servings, and preferably things like berries, fresh or frozen, not things like grapes that are really, really high in sugar. Bringing in more starchy vegetables and more beans, learning how to cook them. So you can take another 10 days, 2 weeks, a week for doing that and combining these 2 practices together. And then for the next maybe 10 days, couple of weeks, a week, you might work to a state where you don't need snacks and you just have 2-3 meals a day. That's where you want to be. I personally eat 1-2 meals a day, and sometimes I don't even feel like really having a meal, because if I ate a lot of calories from nuts and seeds yesterday, like sometimes I can eat like 4,000 calories after like super hard workout, or maybe I haven't been eating that much for the whole week, and so I feel like I need all these calories. But then the next day I really don't feel like eating, and if I have a meal, it's like really tiny meal and I go with the flow. My body knows how to balance that energy surplus, and sometimes when I don't eat enough, my body tells me through my hunger that I do need more calories, and that's where you want to be. You want to get to that natural hunger management where your body knows when you really need it and when you don't need it. And if you don't feel like eating and you have healthy metabolism and you trust your hunger and you're not, you got rid of all these cravings, sugar or otherwise, then you can trust that. And sometimes you're gonna eat more, sometimes you're gonna eat less, and sometimes you're gonna be super active because you ate more calories, like I usually do, like the next day after I eat a lot of nuts. Like I'm like jumping all the time, I don't know, doing dancing, or I'm just bursting with energy. So that's what happens. That's how my body regulates the amount of energy I have on my body in the form of fat and in my cells. It just makes me super hyper active or not so active. Anyhow, guys, so that's step number 2, eliminating all the processed foods, all the sweets in any form. Too much fruit is also not good for you and not good for anyone, but especially for you when you're fixing your metabolism, you need to limit that too. And I'm not even talking about dried fruits and all sorts of juices and stuff. That's not the way to fix your metabolism. It's some crash diet, like juice diet, but it's not doing anything good to your metabolism. Believe me, I did quite a lot of those. Anyhow, guys, so swap the fats, and then number 2, eliminate all the processed stuff, all the sweeteners of all kinds, and limit your fruit and add starchy vegetables and beans. And again, the list of starchy vegetables: beets, carrots, corn, green peas, parsnips, plantain, pumpkin, sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, taro root, yams, and winter squash, and then all sorts of beans that you can find. So that's it for today, guys. Do this step, figure out how to do it, and again, you can take it one step at a time. You can do it all together. That's what I found brings the most difference in how you feel the fastest, but sometimes it's just not doable. It's just too overwhelming. So then you take it step by step. You have a whole life in front of you to change, guys. So don't rush it if you don't feel like it's something you can do. But again, now in quarantine, it might be the perfect time to attack it all together. Who knows what's gonna work for your life. Anyhow, guys, share this episode, even if with just one person, with your friend. It's also more fun to do with your friend or your family member. Changing your habits together, that's just so much easier and so much more motivating, and you learn so much more. So share this episode with someone who might do this transformation with you guys. And as usual, thank you for listening. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for this upgraded snacks episode. And till next time, eat better daily.